Hi, it's Max here, sup, whatever, hey, yo. I don't really feel like dealing with this. The overhead light, I kept turning it on, kept turning it off, the light bulb's screwed. Yeah, and it doesn't work, so I'm using a little lamp over there. Yeah, I don't care. It's more cramped, and there's water leaking in the basement, and it's all great. I don't care. Okay, sorry, this is supposed to be a short video. Anyway, so, that might change if it's a short video or not. But basically, I want to say that it's not guys' fault. I'm gonna make another video being like, everything's not fault. Yeah, but I just want to say, girls talking shit and everyone's blaming men for everything. You know, it's not guys' fault, especially nowadays. Like, of course, there are some guys who say shit and cause problems, but everyone's an asshole at some point. It's not. It's not always under. Anyway, it's not a guy's fault. Sometimes girls are crazy. They say stupid shit. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes they start fights for no goddamn reason. Like, there isn't always logic there. They don't know why they're mad. They're just mad. There's no hope. You know? There's just nothing you can do in that situation. There's no way. You're not always the problem. It's not always your fault. You don't always have to say that it's your fault or that they're right when they're not right. Yeah. It's not always God's fault. And especially, like, I had to make a short video, but I think I'm just gonna go all out and just not make. I wanted to make it short and be like, it's not a guy's fault, and then go into the full video, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So, we're gonna get into it. So, guys, it's not your fault. Okay. Especially even if you did say shit and you start shit and you're like, oh, I said something insensitive, and a lot of times girls will start fighting and shit, because, and you'll get in arguments and crap like that because they'll be like, oh, you're insensitive, you hurt my feelings, like, this is what you said. Girls read into what you say a lot of the time. And if you didn't actually say crap, like, if you weren't being sarcastic and your exact words were not offensive and were not hurting anybody, then it's not your fault, and it's just whatever they pick up, whatever they think you implied, but you didn't imply anything, it's not what you said, stop putting words in your mouth, all that crap. It's all, and all those fights and all the issues is because somebody said something at some point, and when they first heard that, and when you first hear an insult, and you first get insulted, and you first get offended and everything, and you get your feelings hurt, you don't have an attack ready, you don't have any defense, you don't have any walls built up, you don't have a comeback, you don't have a way to build yourself back up, your self-esteem went blank, you're blank-minded, and then afterwards you're like, oh, I could have said this, I could have had this come, and you build yourself back up. So at that point, that has already happened. It's in the past. So they already have this wall up. And you're talking, whatever, and then they think you implied or said something, or you were offensive, or you just weren't, you didn't have the best way with words, because I don't know what I'm saying, you know? Your words aren't very accurate, you say something you don't exactly mean, it gets interpreted wrong, they're filling blanks with whatever the hell's going on in their head, whatever insecurities they have, whatever people said in the past, whatever makes them insecure, whatever makes them feel down, is what they filled in the blank, and is what they fill in to what you did say. And then they take all of that out you. And you didn't do anything. It's just because they were hurt in the past, and now you have to deal with it, which you don't have to deal with it. it's not your problem, and it's not your fault, and you didn't do anything. So you're fine, and you're innocent. And you being like, they'll crying and freaking out and being a mess. You're like, you did this, you did this. No, you didn't do anything. You're not at fault. And for like, and even if you did say some shit that was offensive and you apologize or whatever, or if you don't and you say shit and you're offensive and you're mean or you're sarcastic on purpose or whatever, yeah, they're gonna get so pissed at you and so mad at you and everything because they've heard it before. And it might have not just been from a guy, because most likely what happens, and what does happen, and what women don't realize, is that, hey, maybe a guy said it first, but who enforced it, and who kept saying it to you, and who was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take down your self-worth whenever you build it up. I'm going to tear you down. I'm going to force you into these stereotypes. I'm going to push these stereotypes on you. I'm going to reinforce them every day of your life. Yeah, no, that's women. You do it to each other. If you didn't, you could have... Nah. I'm disappointed in humans and women, because you could have had all of your rights, and you could have vote way earlier. You could have abortions, and you wouldn't have to worry about them taking back. Now it's illegal in Indiana, and you wouldn't have to deal with any of this shit if you guys took power and you took in charge, and you'd like, oh, now I'm in power, you know what, I'm gonna actually help other women, and I do something about it, and I'm not gonna enforce what I learned and what is wrong and what I know is wrong and what hurts other people and what has hurt me onto others. And you just, no. Women just tear the crap out of each other. Because why do you have insecurities? Because a woman said crap to you. Maybe a guy said it first, you're like, oh, your dad said something. No, but like most of the time, your dad's busy at work. He's like, okay, home, whatever. Maybe he's a good dad and he's home a lot. And maybe he's not abusive and he's pretty supportive. But, you know, he messes up. He says some crap. It makes you sometimes feel insecure. But you're home with your mom most of the time. So your mom is the one who influencing with all your stereotypes. And she was influenced by her mother and her mother and her mother. And she didn't stop the cycle and she didn't build herself up. And if she does build herself up, then she's clearly tearing you down, and it's not happy. And it's not healthy, and it's not happy, it's none of that crap. And girls do it with friends and everything all the time. Yeah. I was supporting the girls and everything, and they tear the crap out of you. Words are a weapon. Guys might say shit, and they do shit to each other, but they're more physical, mostly because they get away with it. And I'll probably make another video about that, because they were all like, oh, like a girl couldn't be like physically bully or bully each other. No. You know why they don't? They don't physically bully each other as much, and because teachers and everything, they see that and they're like, oh, you get in trouble for that. But if you say shit, you can just lie and say, oh, I was joking, I was just kidding. Oh, I didn't mean to hurt you. Oh, you're just being sensitive. You blow off their feelings all the time. And you can say whatever the hell you want and get away with it all the time. And, oh, they might say something back to you if you get in trouble with their teachers and shit. But they don't do nothing with you bully people. Nobody. And even if they do something, the bullying's not going to stop. And people are just going to say shit. And they're going to say it even more now. Yeah. Women hurt women. And then they're like, oh no, but women are supporting each other and everything. No, you only see women support each other when a guy says shit. A guy says something, it's random strangers, everything, build her up, say whatever the crap. They'll build her up. They'll say, oh, you're so right, he was so mean, he was so horrible. You realize that everything he said, the only reason she believed it, because all the girls said it. And the minute the girl walks away, they agree with whatever the guy says, and they tear the crap out of her. they invalidate everything about her, and they tear everything about her down. They make her feel like a worthless piece of shit, and they believe she is. They believe she has no worth or value. Women believe that other women have no worth or value. So yeah, you don't change. Yeah, and some women aren't like that, and they did change and they did evolve. And that is the only reason why laws were actually finally put in place. But it took forever because, yeah, was it 1920s? When women got the right to vote? It was like, oh, you can vote now. Yeah. No. They were happy and they were content with their lives, and they just, when there was an issue and this problem at home and everything, and you can just blame other teacher, other people, and instead of uniting and being like, oh, I'll support and I'll help you, no, I'll tear the shit out of you. I will rip and I will destroy your life, and I will make you destroy yourself with the words coming out of my mouth. And I will never tell you I love you or anything. And then girls tear the shit out of each other, and they devalue each other, and you're just screwed. So obviously there's no point, and like there's nothing you can do about it, because guys see that and they're like, oh, you validate and you agree with everything I say, every negative thing I say, you completely agree with that, and you say about it and you talk shit about your friends and everything, and I see how you agree with me and how you follow the stereotypes and you force it on others and you try to follow it yourself. So there's no hope for me. There's no hope for a guy for trying to learn and trying to be more mature and more developed and be more sensitive and be like a positive influence and not be super toxic and be like, yeah, because you were told you were right about everything and you were never told you were wrong, and you were told that you were more valuable and that you were the most important thing in the world. And then you have guys who were never told. So you have either that, or you have guys who are like, maybe kind of learn themselves, love each other, and be like, oh, I more respect women and everything, and I'm better at it. Or you have guys who have no self-esteem and they were never told there was love, and they were ripped apart too. So you either got a guy whose self-esteem has been completely trashed, which matches the woman who's completely, her self-esteem is completely trashed and she's ripping other people. He either also tears other people down, or he's just more sensitive, or he's just like medium, or he's like, oh, I like respect women and I get along with them and we're okay, or he's just like completely messed up and he's fucked up, and so he's just completely screwed when it comes to relationships, and he's just like, oh, you're right about everything, oh, everything you say is right, my opinion doesn't matter, you're worth more than me, and I put your value above mine and everything, and whenever we fight or whatever, my self-esteem drops even more, and I feel like a worthless piece of shit, and I already thought that, and I was never told I was anything worth, or I was important, and I never told I was loved, or I was okay to feel or cry or anything. I just had to tough everything out. So I'm just down, I'm depressed, I'm a fucking wreck. So there's nothing I can do. And that guy's not gonna help the movement, not gonna be able to help support women, because he can't help himself. He can't bring other people up, because he's already down at the bottom. Damn, my phone stopped playing music. I hate you. You were playing an advertisement, but why are you not playing now? I'm freaked out. It's fine. I'm gonna die. Okay, it's playing again. We're gonna live. Okay. Yeah, I need a phone. You know why I need a phone? Okay, I'm gonna have a different video about, because they're all like, Your generation's addicted to phones. I'm gonna talk about why I'm yeah, no. Yeah, that's a different issue. But I just want to say and validate that, hey, women aren't always right, and men are not always fault, and it's not your fault. And especially nowadays, like, guys are more aware, and they changed a lot. And over generations, they're like, hey, this is wrong. We should change this. We should fix this. We should be more supportive in everything. But the fact that so many women haven't changed, and that they don't change and they refuse to change, is the real problem and the real issue that we're still dealing with, and they refuse to change. Women will always find fault in each other and tear each other down. And apparently, we can't change that, and there's nothing we can do about that. You're like, oh, but what we can change, because they're trying to make changes, and they're like, oh, we can now put plus size women in fashion and all this, and they're making all these changes in society. But this doesn't change the fact that the girls in your class are gonna say shit about you and talk crap about you and tear you down and make it so you feel like a worthless piece of shit, and make sure you don't have any friends, and you don't have a boyfriend, and you can't have a relationship, and you can't believe people when they tell you I love you or anything, and you can't build yourself back up because everyone tore you down. And you can't believe when a guy tells you that you're beautiful or anything like, or that you have any worth, because your whole life you've been told by women that you don't have any worth and that you're not worthy of love. So you can't believe anyone when they say you do. Women tear each other much down and tear each other just as much as men do, and even more, especially now with how many changes in society and generations have changed, and how many people have made an effort and be like, hey, this is wrong, we're going to change it, and we're going to fix it, and we're going to try our best, and we're going to actually give a damn about other people, and we're going to try, and we're going to help people. They did. They put an effort in, and it's a lot better now, and it's good. Life is pretty good. Like, of course there's some crappy men out there, but I want to be a big deal about it, and such a big deal. And the main thing is, you're saying all men is this, all men is that. It's not all men's fault. Yeah, a lot of men are starting shit, but you only hear it from those men, and you only hear about those men, and you don't hear about the good guys, the nice guys. They're all pushed aside, and everyone's talking about that. Yeah, they're all pushed aside and shit, because no one believes anything that the nice guy says or anything. But if a guy says crap about you, you instantly believe it. If he calls you shit, you believe that, because you were taught to believe that, and you know that, and you are enforced by that. You are enforced to hate yourself. Not by society anymore. Society's changed. Maybe a little bit of society, but who really influenced you? Society wasn't at home telling you shit. It wasn't at school talking about you, lying to you, tearing you down every day of your life. No, society, you didn't learn about society. You weren't involved in society. You weren't out in the world. You didn't learn about other guys' opinion. You didn't care about guys. No, you didn't know that when you were little, when you started out. No, you only knew what your parents taught you. And if they didn't change, then that influenced you. And then you're trying to become an independent person, and as you learn, oh, maybe my parents aren't always right, then you're influenced more and more by your friends. And your friends say shit, and they're influenced by their parents, and then they're not really influenced that much by society yet. And they say whatever the crap they want. They're awful to each other. Kids are mean, they're horrible to each other. They always tear each other down. And you're just screwed. And then no one lifts you up. No one says anything positive about you. No one teaches you how to love. No one teaches how you love yourself. No one gives you positive influences. They don't say things about you. They don't compliment you. They might back compliment you. And the same people, you can't believe compliments because you hear those same people talking shit about you. Yeah. And you know who they're friends with, and you know the entire school, and you know that your friends, for most of the time, they aren't real. And that's how it starts out. You're just screwed because at the very beginning, and who are your friends? Girls. Because girls talk to girls, and they're not allowed to be friends with guys, and all that crap. And they're not going to hang out with guys as much. And there is less drama when you hang out with guys. That is true. Especially since they don't call you shit. They'll tell you for real, and it'll be their exact words. They'll be like, "Hey, I don't like your outfit. Oh, like, I'm confused. What are you wearing?" But they don't care, and they don't really notice that, so they're not gonna tear you down and care about what you're wearing or how you look and make you feel insecure and be like, "I have all these imperfections, like, and I look in the mirror, I hate myself." Why? Because everybody told you. Everybody told you, this is how you should look. You should look like me. Oh my god, I'm so pretty. I'm beautiful. And I'm gonna tear the crap out of you. Girls are tearing each other apart. You're like, and they blamed it all on society and fashion, and Mama told me this. Yeah, a lot of it was your mom, and yeah, good section was men, but for the most part, men just reinforced it and were like, yeah, you're right. And you all agreed with men, and women tear each other apart. If they didn't tear each other apart, you get so much done. Spend so much time talking crap about each other, ripping each other apart. You don't have any friends, you don't have any influences. No one wants to be friends with you, no one's talking with you. You don't have any real friends. And like, maybe girls can be friends with each other, but for the most part, you don't have real friends. Just know, if you're friends with girls, and you're a girl, almost all of your friends are fake and lying. Because you hear them talk to other girls, and they will rip you apart to shreds. And they'll be like, "Oh, I was feeling down. Oh, I was feeling down. I was just building myself up." Yeah, they learn to tear everyone else down to build themselves up, and that's not how it works. Nope. That's not how it works, bud. You're trying to be like, oh, we could be president and all this crap. Like, we could make such a world difference. We can make such a big difference in society and everything. And we can make such a huge impact, and we can make the world so much better. Women empowerment. Yeah, you say all of that, but what were you doing before? What do you do when you talk to other girls? What was the conversation you had with this? What happened when you felt a little bit insecure and you saw a woman online? You commented. You said shit about her. You called her a whore. Yeah. And you're gonna say and preach, women empowerment, good for women. We're making a difference. We're gonna change. We're gonna help other women. We're gonna lift them up. We're gonna put them in power, positions of power. We're gonna make a difference. We're gonna have equal pay everywhere. We're gonna ignore the differences between men and women. We're gonna make sure everyone has maternity leave. We're gonna treat everyone's treated and there's no sexual assault in the workplace and all of this. No. You make a lot of noise, and that helps at first because you brought a lot of awareness to the issues, and you're like, hey, this is the issue and it's a problem. And some people did change and make a difference and be like, hey, I see the issue and I'm going to do something about it. But most women aren't involved. And you can't make a difference. And you can't be all, oh, women empowerment, I'm a feminist, and all this crap. Okay, a feminist, and I am a feminist. You know what? Because a feminist is the one who's like, hey, men and women should be mostly treated equal. Hey, You should both have maternity leave. You shouldn't be fired unfairly just because based on what you wear. Like, it should be fair in this regard. You should be paid basically the same. You shouldn't just be fear of leaving your job because you needed maternity leave, but your job refused to give it. Yeah, no. Like, all this other crap about feminists and hating men. Yeah, no, hating men has nothing to do with feminism. That's just your own personal shit that no one cares about. And that's your own issue. That doesn't have to being with the feminists or caring about women, being like, hey, should be like, oh, you should be nice to women, and you shouldn't fucking attack them or harass them. Trying to be a decent human being and not hurt other people. Because they're people and they have feelings too. And they matter. And it makes me, yeah, I'm a feminist. But that's it. I don't know what this other shit is. Or why everyone's like, I hate feminists and crap, all the crap. And yeah, you're right. A lot of women aren't feminists. And they claim, some of them claim that they are feminists. But they don't support all women. They're like, trans women aren't women, so. And they claim to be a feminist. You're not a feminist. Because you don't care about women. And you don't think women should be treated equally. Because all of a sudden, men and women aren't equal when the man changes to woman. The fuck? You said that both genders were equal. So how come they lose value and they are no longer equal now that they change genders when they were supposed to be equal? You know? You're selling shit. This is bullshit. I can't believe anything. You say so much crap for attention, and none of what you say is true, and you might... I can't believe you, because people claim harassment, and you were like, oh, I was harassed, like, oh, people were threatening me, and all this crap, just for attention, and you get people, trying to get people thrown in jail and crap. Like, no. You're not nice to the people. No. Women don't treat women nicely, so they're not gonna treat men nicely either. And women aren't gonna respect, men aren't gonna respect women, women don't respect them, and they 100% do not respect each other. So once you learn how to help each other and not tear each other down, then you can talk. And you actually help other people and you help women. Then you can say, women empowerment, I'm a feminist. I support and I help other women. I value other women. I think their opinions are important. I care what they have to say and everything. You can say crap when you make a difference and you stop tearing other people down. But it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Because clearly, it didn't happen before. It didn't happen at the beginning of the hierarchy. When they first nominated kings and everything. When they first made those stereotypes and said women are less than men. When they first said women are less than men. The women what did? They did what? Nothing. Nothing. They did nothing. And you know what? Instead of saying, oh, that's wrong, I'm going to do something, I'm going to fight against that. You know what it first said? It said, no, I'll agree with that. I'm going to go along with it. Whatever. They reinforced it. They're 50% of the population. Yeah. Which means they could have made changes and saved so much time, and they could have done things from the very beginning. And I'm not saying that some women didn't, because a lot of women did. But, I mean, if you look at all those marches, how many women participated in these marches? You know, I'm sorry, not millions. Not 50% of the population, not like 10% of not like 20% of the population or 10% of the population, and participated in those marches to make those changes in those rights. Yeah. So, maybe 10%, 5%, yeah, less than 5% or 10% of that 50% actually tried to make women's lives better and give and fought for and committed, being like, women should have rights, we're gonna give women rights. Yeah. Yeah, it would have happened if we had more of this, if more women participated, if it was more like 20%, 30%, because they're 50%, so they're half. And then you'd be like 40% of that. Bam. Happened like that. Not even 40%, 30%. Happened a little bit faster. But no. Not that many. It's like, oh yeah, there were a couple thousand, a couple hundred. Yeah. Yeah, who participated in that march? In those marches? Who were like, oh, we should give women rights. Yeah, only that amount. Out of the population? Exactly. Out of the people who could participate and who were in the right age range and everything. Only 1,000. Only a few hundred. Only a few thousand and a few hundred actually cared and were like, oh, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to make changes and I'm going to try to help each other. Everyone else settled or didn't care or didn't do anything about it and then reinforced all those stereotypes and said, oh, you're right, we agree with you. Yeah. And let's be honest, with how little and everything at the beginning, and not even at the beginning, in the 1900s, and before 1800s, 1700s, you could have done, you could have, when you first started your marches and everything, and before you even first started your marches, and you first were like, oh, hey, I noticed that we're not being treated equal, and I want to change that. You know, I'm going to actually make an effort and I do something about it. You could have, and you would have. But you didn't. Which means the next generation had to deal with that same crap, and it got worse and worse every single generation. Because you reinforced it and you encouraged and you stuck to those stereotypes. Some more stereotypes were added and you made your own lives hell. You made your lives worse. Because you never did anything about it in the first place. So they said, oh, it's a good thing. It's encouraged. We'll add more. We can do whatever the hell we want, and you can't do anything about it. You have no say, and you don't matter. And you what? Instead of fighting that, arguing, dealing anything about it, being like, oh, you're wrong. No. You what? You turned the girl next to you and said, he's right. He's right. You don't matter. You don't matter. And now you're going to tell all the girls around you the same thing and tell your kids that too. Yeah. Good job. That's exactly what you did. Yep. There's nothing. I'm clapping, just so you know. Because instead of using both hands to clap, because I have one holding my phone, because my stand's over there and it's not going to work. I might try it for another video, but yeah. And I got a lot lazy most of the time, and I was like, oh, instead of using two hands, I can use one hand to clap, and I don't have to use all fingers. I can just use 3. Oh, I can just use 2. Oh, a thumb counts as a finger. I can really just 2. There. Oh, sorry, got distracted as always. Yeah. Oh, my hand is so numb. Oh, yeah. Your legs are gone. Oh! Yeah, great situation. So, I just want to say, yeah, I'm sorry. Girls are not always right. You're wrong sometimes. And you're wrong a lot of the time. And guys guys don't have to agree with you, and they don't gotta fight with you. Yeah. And I loved how someone was saying how, and girls are gonna complain just because they're gonna complain. And they're gonna nag because they're gonna nag. Because they want to fight faults with you. Because they find faults with everybody and themselves. And it's what they're used to, and that's what they do with each other. So, of course, you're not exempt. You're gonna be teared the crap out of, too. Your self-value is gonna be torn down as well. Because their self-esteem is low. So you're just screwed. That's how it works. So, yeah. It's not your fault, guys, and you should feel loved and respected. And if you don't, try and get out of the relationship. Try and find someone who's better, who treats you better, who doesn't take everything as offensive. Oh my god, you hurt me. Oh my god, you're wrong all the time. Oh my god, you said this, so get this. No, they're lying. You didn't say that. No, you can't quote my exact words. You said whatever the hell you wanted to say. And he said, I said, hi. Those are 2 letters. What did you hear? Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, you said, you thought I cussed you out and I commented on your outfit. You thought I said your hair was trash, that I gave you a dirty look, that I was being sarcastic, that I've been ignoring you. No. These are 2 words. If it's not his exact words, and he didn't purposely hint, or give you looks, or make sexual harassment, or sex jokes, or he makes body language, or he was sarcastic. If sarcasm and body language was intentional, and was on purpose, and the words were offensive, then yeah, you can say crap. But you realize also that the only reason you're so offended and that you're so hurt is not the guy's fault. It's everybody who hurt you. Everyone said that what he said was right. And now you feel like crap and you're yelling at this guy because he said something you've heard your entire life. The problem is that you've heard it your entire life and no one changed it and no one enforced it. And when people did change it and they said, oh, that's wrong, and you realized that was wrong, and you're like, hey, that's not wrong, you shouldn't treat me like that, you shouldn't say something like that, that's wrong and that's hurtful. And you realize that, yeah, that's good, but you don't build yourself up from that. And the people who also agreed with you and said that you were right and he was in the wrong, they talked about you and they tore you down and they call you a liar and they never agree with you. Yeah, no. Women betray the crap out of each other. They tear each other down. They hate each other. If women do not change how they treat women, you can't be in charge. You might end up in charge, but you're not going to make a real difference. You can't say women empowerment when you don't do shit. You don't help other women because you don't see them as worthy and you don't value them. Because you rip them to crap, so you feel better. You feel better, you're pulling yourself up. Your self-esteem is now better, because theirs is shit. No. That's not how it works. And I can't do anything, and I can't help you, and I can't learn how to make you love you, because I can't love me, so what are we supposed to do now? Just try, stop tearing each other apart. It's not a guy's fault. Yeah, so now it's so wrong. So what? Move on.